All right, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Macha, Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and my elders at Great Millstone that give me this truth and all this purity, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And this video will be going into the topic of how Yahawashi, he created the world and he's going to end it. You see, so Yahawashi, the Most High, used Yahawashi to make everything that you see and that you don't see. You know, and this is the scripture right here to prove it. This is Colossians chapter 1, verse 15. Who is the image? Matter of fact, let's start at 14. It says, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. So Yahawashi, he redeemed us by his blood. And the us is talking about the children of Israel. When you read John 3:16, that world there is talking about the nation of Israel, because the word there is cosmos, which means what? Order, you know, orderly government, you know, a particular group of people. You see, that's what it's talking about. So it says, verse 15, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. So Yahawashi, he's the express image of the Father. That's why he told Thomas, if you see me, you see the Father, because he looks exactly like the Most High. You know, the Most High made Yahawashi exactly like himself, like a mini version of himself, you see? So he's the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. So Yahawashi is the firstborn of everything that's created. You know, creatures just a creation, you know, creation of the Most High, you know, so the firstborn of every creature, whether it's the sun, you know, Esau want to talk, oh, you know, the sun is billions of years old, you know, which we know is bullshit. The sun is only, the universe itself is only about 12,000 years old, you see? But Yahawashi, he was before that, you know, because he made him, you know, the Most High in the beginning, you know, he thought about everything that he was going to create, you know, and he brought forth Yahawashi and gave him the blueprint and said, go, you know, create everything, you see? So it says, verse 16, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. So the Most High made him, you know, that's the firstborn son of the Most High. We know, according to the law, the firstborn, he gets a greater portion, you know, of the inheritance. So that's what the Most High did with Yahawashi. Since that's his first creation, you know, by right, you know, by right of inheritance, you know, everything belongs to him, you know, because he made everything anyways, you see? So I'm going to read that again. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are on earth. So you want to talk about the stars, you know, the sun, the moon, you know, Esau, he got his telescope, what's it called, Hubble telescope. He looks into outer space, you know, and he's amazed at the nebulas and, you know, the beauties of heaven. But Yahawashi made that, you see? But he want to talk about, oh, the Bible ain't real. You know, no, Yahawashi made all of that you see. Because you could clearly see that these things weren't brought forth by a big bang. Because everything is orderly. You know, everything is orderly. You know, the sun never fails on its watch. You know, the moon never fails. You know, it ain't one day where the moon decided to take a break, you know, instead of, you know, the moon has its cycles, and that cycle never breaks. You know, it goes from a new moon, which is when it's fully dark, you know, to a full moon, you know, a light that increaseth in her perfection, you see? And there was never one time in history where you heard about the moon going from a new moon to straight to a full moon. No, it's a process. So that's order, you see? Verse 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. You see, so Yahawashi is before all things, and it's through him that everything consists. You know, so hey man, the universe, it takes power, you know, to maintain the universe. You know, all this energy that's out there, you know, the sun and all of that, you know, where does it come from? You know, it comes first and foremost through Yahweh, which is the Heavenly Father, but he uses his son to maintain all of it, you know? So he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And Yahawashi, he also was Solomon, you know. And what is it, Proverbs 8? He also was King Solomon, which you have Christians that don't believe that, You even have certain Israelites, that don't believe that. But this is Proverbs 8 and 22. This is Solomon speaking. It says, the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way before his works of old. So why would Solomon say something like that, Because what? He knew that he was the Most High's son, because the Most High gave him the knowledge of all things, you see? So he's saying the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. So before his works of old, we know before the heavens were created, before anything was created, the Most High made his son Yahawashi, and it was only them both, you see? And it says, I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning or ever the earth was. This is King Solomon speaking. That's how you know this is the Lord Yahawashi, because even certain Jakes knew it too. They said Yahawashi asked him who he said King David who's the Lord's anointed, but they said that the son of David, because they knew that the anointed was supposed to be Solomon, King Solomon, which was the son of the Most High, But it says, I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. It's like, yeah. When there was no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, you see? So when he prepared the heavens, Yahawashi was there, you see? That means what? That the Most High he thought, because everything, reality is just a manifestation of the thoughts of Yahweh, you see? Of the thoughts of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, through his son, Yahweh through his son Yahawashi, you see? So when he prepared the heavens, I was there. So the Most High gave him the blueprint, you see? When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. You see? So he was by the Most High when the Most High was giving him the blueprint, you see? And it says, rejoicing in the habitable part of the earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. So Solomon, he rejoiced in the habitable part of the earth. So that was, when he came as Adam, because he made everything, and then the Most High put him in the body. The Most High gave him that earthly tabernacle, put him as Adam, and his delight was with the sons of men, which were the sons of the Most High, the sons of God, the Israelites. Back then we were known as the Adamites, you see, but we had a head back then. We knew there was a chief Adam, which was Yahawashi, you see. And let me prove real quick that Solomon was the Lord in the reincarnation. What is it? 2 Samuel. What is it? Okay, 2 Samuel chapter 7. Let me see. This is 2 Samuel 7 and 12. And this is the Most High speaking through Nathan to David, King David, which was a man of the Lord, And it says, and when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. So that's talking about King Solomon, a seed that that the Most High is going to set up his kingdom, you see. And it says, he shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. We know that King Solomon, he never ruled forever. He only ruled for about 40 years, you see. So that's how you know this is the Lord's son, Yahawashi. You know, I'm gonna read that again. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Solomon died. You see, Solomon died in his old age. So how is it that his kingdom was gonna be established forever? That's talking about in the future tense. You know, when the Lord Yahawashi comes back and establishes his kingdom in righteousness. You see, and it says, "I will be his father." So, hey, when you read in the New Testament, what does it say about the Lord? When the Lord was with his disciples, they heard a voice from heaven saying, "What? This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased." The son of the Most High is Yahawashi, which was King Solomon. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. This is the only man that the Most High personally telling you, like, yo, this is my son, you know? My son. He got many sons, the children of Israel, the sons of Israel. You know, we're the sons of the Most High as well. But this is my son, my principal son, my firstborn, my strength, my might. You see? I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. And that's why Solomon, you know, he never got punished. You know, he died in his old age, you know, but when did he ever pay? We know the Most High is no liar. You know, he died. So he paid when he came back as Yahawashi, as whom the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. And that's why he was beaten to the point of where he couldn't be recognized, you know, because that was him paying for the sins of his old age, or of his past life, you know. So even he himself, you know, Yahawashi knew that he was Solomon, you know, because matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, that's it. Because the Lord himself, he was telling you that, yeah, I am King Solomon. Let me see, Slakia. Damn. I'm trying to find out the verse. Okay, Luke 9:20. That's what it is. Okay, this is Luke chapter 9, verse 18. And it came to pass, as he was alone praying, Yahawashi, his disciples were with him, and he asked them, saying, Whom say the people that I am? They answering said, John the Baptist, but some say Elias, and others that one of the old prophets is risen again. And he said unto them, But whom say ye that I am? Peter said, the anointed of the Most High. You know, this is not the verse I was looking for. Then how does it go? Yeah. David. Okay. Matthew 22 and 43. This is Matthew chapter 22, verse 41. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahawashi asked them, saying, What think ye of Christ, the anointed? That's what Christ means. Whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. So they knew that the anointed, the son of the Most High, that was prophesied to come, he was the son of David. He was the son, he was Solomon himself. They knew that, you see? Saying, What think ye of Christ? Whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. So they knew about reincarnation back then. He saith unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand till I make thine enemies thy footstool. If David then call him Lord, how is he his son? You see? So David himself, he's quoting Psalms 110. You know, that's what he's quoting right now. David called Solomon his own son. You know, he said, The Lord said unto my Lord. So that's what Yahawashi was saying. How is he his son if he's calling him Lord? Because what? Solomon was greater than King David. You see? Because I was the son of the Most High. You see? So everything is ordered to everything. Even though David is beloved of the Most High, Solomon, King Solomon, which, Yahawashi, which was King Solomon, he's more beloved than King David. He's over King David, although he came out of the loins of King David. You see? And from there, let's go to the book of Micah. Micah 5 and 2. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel. That's talking about Yahawashi. He came out of Bethlehem, you see, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. You see? So the ruler of Israel, the one that's supposed to govern Israel, the governor of Israel, Yahawashi, his goings forth have been from old, from everlasting, before everything was created. The Most High brought him forth, you see. So that's what he's talking about, man. That's why Yahawashi say, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me, you see. Who is that talking about? That the ruler of Israel that's from everlasting, man, And yeah, let's go to Second Ezra. This is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, or ere the present years were sought out, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they were made, they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. You see? So we know, we read Colossians where it says, for by him, by Yahawashi, were all things created. You see? So by Yahawashi, everything is gonna be ended, and by none other. It's only right. He's the one that created all things, so it's only right that he's the one that ends everything. You see, and the end of everything that you see is gonna be what? By the way of the thermonuclear fire, and the laser beams from the so-called UFOs. You see, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, or the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world. You see, Esau is who? Esau is the biblical nationality of the so-called white man. So Esau, the so-called white man, is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And you can't deny that they're the Edomites, because only under their rulership have you seen, all the signs that Yahawashi spoke about before his second coming, they're happening. He said to watch out for earthquakes in diverse places and all these things, and they're happening under Esau, Edom's rulership. You see, matter of fact, let me get Matthew 24. And I was about to get, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it in the end. Isaiah 63, where it shows you that the Lord is gonna take out the Edomites. When he comes back, that's the nation that's gonna be established before he, when he comes back. And Matthew 24. Let me see what 30 says. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And that's why the Most High set the YouTube up, for the prophets of Yahawashi Shah, which, we are. We are hoping we are, we hoping we're part of the elect. But we are the prophets, man. We are the elect, man. Yahawashi Shah Ratazah, because we doing his will, but we preach the word, started with our apostles and the elders, and then we throughout the four corners of the earth. Now the end is closer than you think. Hey man, you can't even deny it at this point. The signs are out there, the coronavirus, all the plagues, the biblical plagues, you got rivers, turning into blood all over the world. Salakia. These are the signs of the times. But I'm gonna jump down to I'm gonna jump down to 30. Verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And that's gonna be happening by the way of the thermonuclear missiles, the ICBMs, that's gonna hit America. 200 million ICBMs is going to destroy America from off the face of the earth. Verse 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. You see? So Yahawashi is coming with power and great glory, and all the earth is going to mourn. Why are the people going to mourn? Why is the earth is going to mourn? Because he's coming to bring great death. Isaiah 66 and 15, it says what? The Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, you see? And the slain of the Lord shall be many, you see? And it says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, you see? So by Yahawashi, all things are going to be ended, So let me get the scripture I call for. Isaiah 63 and 1. Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. You see, so that's the Lord speaking, Yahawashi. It says what? Hey, the book is written of him. So he's saying, who's this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? So that shows you that Edom will be in rulership when Yahawashi comes back. Because it says when he comes back, he's going to take rulership. He's going to take dominion, the crowns from off the heads of the kings. You see? So with dyed garments from Basra, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. So he's going to travel in that ship, that white horse, which represents what? His chariot, his so-called UFO that he's going to be upon. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So Yahawashi is mighty to save the Israelites. The curses say what? That no man is going to save you. No man is going to redeem you out of your captivity. Only Yahawashi is worthy to redeem us. Verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them down in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So the Lord, he's coming to bring death, man. He's coming to kill a lot of people. People will call what he's about to do, they will call it genocide. They will call it mass murder. He's coming to kill billions of people. When Yahawashi comes back, billions of people are going to drop dead. And that's beautiful, man, and it says, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemment is come. The redeemment of the Lord is who? The elect of Yahawashi. So that year is come, you see. So I just wanted to go into that. To water Yahawashi for giving me the Chakodash to do this video, and double honors to my apostles and my elders at Great Millstone that give me this truth and all this purity, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.